Now on Coast TV News.
Storm preparations in full swing. People on the coast stocking up on essentials before a blizzard strikes. Whiteout conditions, the storm set to impact millions across the country with more than a foot of snow hitting several major cities. A Black History event remembering one Lewes landmark, the memories neighbors shared.
We're bracing for a blizzard on Delmarva for later Sunday into Monday. Starts out as rain, then changes to snow with over a foot of snow expected with whiteout conditions, coastal impacts. It's going to be a mess. I'll break it down coming up.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Buying snow shovels once again this winter. Good evening. I'm Emma Aiken. Welcome to Coast TV News at 11. We begin tonight with a historic storm set to slam much of the Northeast, including right here on Delmarva. We're going to take a live look outside into Dover. Our First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey joins us. And Bob, this will be a drastically different view in less than 24 hours.
Oh, absolutely, Emma. Yes, and in about 24 hours from now, it'll be a whiteout out there and blizzard conditions. Hard to believe now looking outside. We have a blizzard warning that goes into effect early afternoon tomorrow around 1 p.m. Continues until Monday evening for all of our region, including Sussex County, Georgetown, Seaford, Dagsboro, anywhere painted in red. Blizzard warning as well. Caroline and Talbot counties through Monday, and then the same for Salisbury, Point South, and that goes until 7 p.m. on Monday. We're going to have coastal impacts too. Very strong northeast winds gusting over 60 miles per hour. Coastal flood warning, 1 to 2 foot water rises, especially at times of high tide as we go into tomorrow night. Now we're seeing the clouds increasing now, already starting to see precipitation in the form of rain and snow through Virginia into Pennsylvania. And here's our area of low pressure now developing across the Piedmont of North Carolina. Once this hits the Atlantic Ocean, it will explode, become an intense low, and give us those blizzard conditions as we go into tomorrow. As we're watching Futurecast at 5 a.m. on Sunday, it's a cold rain. I think much of the morning it's a cold rain. Now we start to see some snow beginning to move into western Sussex County later in the morning, but very heavy rain, strong winds, and then everybody changes to snow later in the afternoon, and then that snow comes down really hard as we go into tomorrow evening with blizzard conditions. We're looking at winds perhaps 50 to 60 miles per hour. Travel is not recommended tomorrow night into Monday as that snow continues, and we have up to snow totals now to 8 to 14 inches. Yeah, it's going to be quite a blizzard across the area as we go through time, as we see the rain in the morning and then increasing snow in the afternoon. Much more on the upcoming blizzard coming up in a few minutes.
As we just heard from Bob, more snow, quite a bit of it, is on its way to Delmarva, and some people spent time preparing earlier today. Shoppers returned to hardware stores, as you can see here, to get snow shovels. Some came by to pick up what the Ace Hardware had left for salt.
I need salt, but no one has salt. I'm all out of salt, but I think I'll be okay without it. I don't know if I have one or the other. Maybe having a shovel is better?
No, the only thing we do is if one of our neighbors needs help with shoveling, and I got extra gas, I'll help them out. But other than that, we're all good.
An employee at the Ace Hardware in Lewes tells us they don't expect to get more salt before the storm hits, but the store will stay open during its normal Sunday hours. The Delaware Emergency Management Agency will activate its State Emergency Operations Center Sunday evening to coordinate response efforts. Drivers are urged to avoid non-essential travel, prepare emergency kits, and stay updated on road conditions and weather alerts. DEMA's key safety tips include clearing snow from cars, driving slowly with extra distance, never passing snow plows, and keeping basic supplies on hand in case of outages. Sussex County officials today calling this possibly the most significant storm in years, with the National Weather Service blizzard warning for all of Sussex County from Sunday afternoon through Monday evening. Officials warn heavy snow, wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, and coastal flooding could make travel nearly impossible and lead to power outages. Emergency planners are urging drivers to stay off the roads during the height of the storm and prepare for possible outages. As this latest winter storm moves through Delmarva Sunday evening at 7 p.m., join us for a special live stream. CoastTV and WBOC will have team coverage with crews spread out across the peninsula tracking snowfall and road conditions in real time. There will be no 6 p.m. broadcast tomorrow due to sports programming, basketball on CoastTV and golf on WBOC, but we will be live at 7 p.m. on our apps, which you can also download on your smart TV. Then stay with us for full team coverage during our late newscasts at 10 on Fox 21, at 11 on WBOC, and at 11 here on CoastTV. Drive-on surf fishing crossings at Cape and Lopin State Park, Delaware Seashore State Park, and Fenwick Island State Park closed at 6 p.m. today due to this incoming weather and high surf. Crews say they will check things out once the storm passes, and they'll let everyone know when those drive-on crossings reopen. Another alert tonight. The city of Lewes is asking anyone who lives on or parks along designated emergency routes to move their cars to allow city staff to clear snow from the roads. That goes into effect starting at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Similar in Rehoboth Beach, a snow emergency declaration takes effect at 9 p.m. Sunday. According to the city, there will be no parking on Rehoboth Avenue, Bayard Avenue, or State Road until snow removal operations are complete. Cars left on those streets will be ticketed and towed at the owner's expense. City officials urge drivers to yield to snowplows and avoid unnecessary travel during the storm. All of this brings us to our CoastTV poll tonight. We want to know, how do you feel about getting more snow this winter? Let's take a look at the results. So far, 51% saying they're over it. 23% say love it though, but 22% say dreading it, and 4% for excited. And if you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttv.com or on the mobile app. We do have more information on this incoming blizzard, including the various warnings and reminders right now on coasttv.com. It's not just here on Delmarva. This monster winter storm takes aim at cities from D.C. to Boston. The life-threatening storm could bring 1 to 2 feet of snow and whiteout conditions.
Tonight, 30 million people under blizzard warnings as a dangerous nor'easter quickly takes shape.
We're selling out of all of our shovels, anything that removes snow.
The life-threatening conditions stretching up and down the mid-Atlantic just weeks after the last winter wallop.
I'm devastated. I don't want to see any more sludgy snow all over the ground.
New Jersey's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Snowfall during this time could reach 2 inches per hour. Winds will be much stronger than the storm in January.
New York City under its first blizzard warning in 10 years, expecting at least a foot of snow.
I am asking all New Yorkers to stay inside and stay off the roads for your safety.
It's time to brace for impact, New Yorkers.
While out west,
this is not a good sign.
Salt Lake County, Utah authorities confirming to NBC News 2 skiers were injured, one critically, after they apparently triggered an avalanche in Big Cottonwood Canyon, a popular ski area. Bystanders capturing the rescue operations. This, as officials announced they have recovered the bodies of 9 backcountry skiers near Lake Tahoe in California after the deadly avalanche earlier this week. Crews today conducted avalanche mitigation in Nevada County. Back east, the expected storm and delays making travelers extra cautious with their plans.
We don't want to risk it.
I was hearing it could be nothing, and I was hearing it could be 15 inches of snow.
Today at Lewes Elementary, the city's African American Heritage Commission gathered neighbors to reminisce on an old playground in the city. CoastTV News reporter Drew Bellinger shows us the importance of the playground's history and the memories created there.
Discussions about the old Lewes Community Playground. That African Americans from the city say was a safe space.
We were allowed to, go over there and play.
Pat Lee, who lived in Lewes, says the playground was a source of constant fun, despite where America was in the mid-1900s.
Well, it was special because back then, a lot of times we weren't, as black people, we were not allowed.
Lewes community members were able to reconnect, sharing pictures and laughs that date back to the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, before the playground was turned into what is now Ship Carpenter Square. to Rob Schroeder, who lived near the playground.
And it was a seamless integration.
Schroeder says today was the first time he'd seen many of his fellow neighbors.
Before there was any school integration, and before there was integration in lots of other ways in the greater Lewes Community Society. So this was unique that we came together, these two groups of kids, just to have fun playing sports together.
Lee says the event today felt like one big Lewes reunion.
I think it's wonderful to bring back all these memories. I think it's wonderful.
Shared memories of a playground that united a community. In Lewes, Drew Bellinger, Coast TV News.
Tributes continued for the late Reverend Jesse Jackson today. In New York, Reverend Al Sharpton and his National Action Network hosted a Keep Hope Alive rally for the civil rights leader to honor his life, legacy, and contributions. Jackson, also a Baptist minister and two-time presidential candidate, died on Tuesday. He was 84. We are just getting started here on Coast TV News at 11. Graffiti in Smyrna, how the town is looking to tackle cleanup and what business owners have to say.
We're seeing calm conditions now, but by this time tomorrow night, it's snowing heavily across our area with blizzard conditions as low pressure deepens and could be an historic storm all up and down the East Coast. Much more on this coming up a little bit later on.
But first, from stricter staffing on the sand to school scrutiny, there was a lot going on here on Delmarva. We have a recap of the week when we're back in just 60 seconds. From rental rules to parking progress, there was a lot going on this week here on the coast. Charlie Sakaitis has a look at our week in review.
Monday in Ocean City, the town taking a look at adding beach enforcement staffing. These positions would be dedicated to upholding beach rules, no drinking, no smoking on the beach, tent and canopy regulations, and more. Tuesday in Ocean City, the moratorium on new short-term rental licenses was lifted. It's been a contentious issue in the town for years, and after signatures forcing a referendum were gathered, the town decided to just drop those restrictions altogether. Wednesday, the Brian Allen Stevenson School in Georgetown under scrutiny from the Delaware Department of Education, which says the school isn't meeting state standards. School leaders say charter schools usually take 3 to 5 years to get off the ground, and they're confident they'll turn it around. Thursday, Milton set to get a little more parking downtown. A new parking lot with 41 spaces will be added. Milton Mayor John Collier hopes the new lot will add both convenience and commerce to the area. And Friday, the Milton Theater racing against the clock to purchase the Quayside property. That's the grassy area near the river you see on your screen. It attracts hundreds of people each week during the summer and throughout the year. The owner of the land has offered to sell the property to the theater at a significantly reduced price of $150,000, but they only have 30 days and they need the community's help raising money. For your Week in Review, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
It's hard to believe we're talking about a blizzard with a beautiful start to the weekend. We were in the low to mid 50s earlier today with lots of sunshine, but boy, do we have big changes on the way. As we look at our dry tech cam from Ocean City, we're looking at deepening low pressure offshore tomorrow, and that means a cold rain changing to snow, becoming heavy as we go into the evening with blizzard conditions likely tomorrow night into Monday morning. That's heavy snow, wind gusts at least 35 miles per hour, and low visibility, less than a quarter mile, which would definitely be under the definition of a blizzard. Coastal impacts too. We're looking at water rises of 1 to 2 feet with flooding at high tide, especially in those low spots. Here's that blizzard warning for pretty much all of central and southern Delaware. It goes into effect tomorrow at 1 p.m. and continues until 6 p.m. on Monday. Also the case for much of the mid and eastern shore, and then points south into Wycomico and Worcester counties too until 7 p.m. on Monday. This means, once again, visibility is less than a quarter mile tomorrow night. Whiteout conditions with blizzard conditions. And those continue all the way through New Jersey, Long Island, into southeast New England, where they could see 1 to 2 feet of snow. So this is the biggest storm a lot of us have seen in a very long time. And also coastal impacts too. Coastal flood warning for coastal Delaware. 1 to 2 foot water rises, especially at times of high tide as we go into tomorrow night. So those vulnerable low spots definitely could see some flooding. Right now we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, 38 Seaford, 35 in Georgetown, 35 in Gumboro, and the winds are calm now. It's the proverbial calm before the storm because we've got big changes that are coming our way. As clouds are beginning to increase now, we're already starting to see some rain and snow breaking out through Virginia into Pennsylvania as well, and then back into the Carolinas as low pressure is gathering strength now across the Carolinas, and it's this low that will move over the Atlantic Ocean, and then we'll start to see bombogenesis, basically a deepening low pressure area, rapidly deepening as we go through time. So by tomorrow morning at 4 a.m., it's a cold rain. Much of the morning, it's a cold rain, moderate at times with upper 30s. Then as that storm starts to really strengthen, the winds pick up, we get dynamic cooling, and we're going to start to see that snow overtaking the area as we go into mid-afternoon. Maybe still some rain in Ocean City, but it is snow as we go later afternoon into the evening, and then after about 6:30, that's when the winds really start to crank up, temperatures near the freezing mark, and that's when we could be looking at those whiteout conditions as we go into tomorrow night. You can see these red arrows. We're talking wind gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour and temperatures around freezing, and that snow will just paste itself on power lines and trees, and definitely some power outages and down trees too as we continue to see the snow throughout the day Monday and then finally tapering off later in the day. But this is quite the system, really winding up off the coast as we go into 9:30 tomorrow evening. Almost looks like a hurricane there with all the snow all across the mid-Atlantic region, even up into the New York area. And then that snow becomes more scattered as we go into your Monday. I have up the snowfall totals 8 to 14 inches. It's possible some local spots could see more than that. A little less farther to the south, around 4 to 8 from Chincoteague and Point South, and it's so strong winds really pushing that water on shore tomorrow evening. And look at these gusts over 50 miles per hour, maybe close to 60 at the coast. So hunker down and make sure you really stay safe through the blizzard. 34 tonight, partly cloudy, then increasing clouds with the blizzard warning tomorrow, rain to snow and then heavy snow. And your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. Travel not recommended with over a foot of snow likely into Monday, and then a slow melt in that snow Tuesday with 40s after that, and hopefully melting off more of that snow with showers by Thursday into Friday.
The town of Smyrna is looking for solutions to graffiti popping up around the area. NBC 10's Tim Furlong has details.
Of course, prevention would be the way to go.
Yes, indeed. The longtime owner of Red Mill Tackle says preventing graffiti before it happens would be great, but in a town where 34 officers protect 14,000 residents, catching vandals in the act is tough.
Thank you all for coming, first of all.
The town council here in Smyrna is working on an ordinance that would put the responsibility of a quick graffiti cleanup right on business and building owners.
What we're trying to do is preserve the property values of the homes within the town of Smyrna. We are not here trying to penalize anybody. What we're not trying to do is have the town look like it's falling apart.
I am glad that there is dialogue going on because it is becoming an issue in town. I do feel that there should be some leeway for the property owners. I don't think they should get hammered if they did nothing wrong, but somebody tags their building.
So say you're a business owner in Smyrna and you have a big piece of wall like that and somebody does some graffiti on it. Yeah, it stinks to have to clean it the first time, but what about the second time, the third time, or even the fourth time? Jakai just opened his House of Cuts barbershop here, and while town leaders have suggested they'll make a cleanup fund to help repay the cost of removing graffiti, the initial money would come out of business owners' pockets. Jakai tells me the last thing he needs as a new owner here is to keep wasting his time and his money on painting and repainting.
We're already a small business. We already got other things to focus on, trying to boost our business. So spending money just to get some paint on the walls and then they come back and redo it is just, it's a hassle.
The owner of the local Social at Main event space tells me her message really isn't for the town council. It's for whomever thinks it's cool to spray paint her town.
Yes, just stop.
I'm Tim Furlong, Coast TV News.
The Olympics are airing and they are only here on Coast TV. Let's take a look at the current medal count. Norway still leading the medal count with 18 gold and 40 altogether. USA now in second with 11 gold medals, 12 silver, 9 bronze, and 32 altogether. Italy in third now with 10 gold, 30 medals altogether. And don't forget, the Winter Olympics run through tomorrow, the 22nd, only here on CoastTV. Learning how to pick crabs is part of life for many Marylanders, and at 87 years old, a woman who goes by Hurricane Hazel can pick them faster than most people can eat them. Megan Knight has the story.
Let's give it over to Hazel Cropper. Hurricane Hazel.
They come from far and wide to the small town of Crisfield to meet the master of crab picking. 87-year-old Hazel Cropper, aka Hurricane Hazel, is a legend when it comes to cleaning out a blue crab. But don't give her the credit for this specialized skill.
I thank God. He's the one supplying me. I don't take credit for myself. I thank God that I learned.
She suffered a small stroke last summer, but it's had no effect on her ability to pick a crab, which she learned at the age of 9 from her grandmother.
When I first started as a young child, they had a soda crate and the crayfish in my chair that I was sat on, and that gave me the height of the grown pickers.
It quickly became second nature.
You all the talking and laughing and cutting up and still picking. Don't even have to look at what I'm doing.
If there are any questions as to how good she is, just look at her resume. 16-time world champion crab picker, Guinness World Record holder. Miss Hazel picked over 5.5 pounds of crab meat in just 20 minutes.
And everybody has tried to beat me. No shame in my game. Because this is something that I love.
And she loves to share her gift with whomever is willing to learn, from kids to the governor of Maryland.
I love doing it because I love teaching. It's a joyful thing to be able to carry a legacy and be proud of what you're doing.
If you're heading out to church or just grabbing some breakfast in the morning, you're looking at just a cold rain, upper 30s. As we go through the day, though, the winds pick up, that low intensifies. We see that rain changing over to snow later in the afternoon, and then that snow really starts to come down as we go into Sunday night, as we have a code red for Sunday and Monday on the Paul Davis 10-day forecast. 8 to 14 inches of snow. Travel is not recommended as we go through that time period. 35 Tuesday, we start to melt the snow more so mid to late week with showers of rain Thursday and Friday. Right now, dry and mild for the weekend, and oh no, maybe another wintry system into early next week. But Emma, spring eventually is on the way.
One day. Bob, thank you, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Olympics are up next. Have a great night.